Hey guys, welcome back to World of Warships. Today we're taking a look at the Champagne. It's been a very long time since I've played this ship, but I'm very excited to today. This 14.0 buff for Champagne is really awesome. I love ships with reload boosters. They're just really fun to play. This ship gaining a reload booster, it didn't have one before, is really fun. You get 3 of them, and it's active for 15 seconds, cutting down your reload by 50%. Basically what that means, with a near enough 30-second reload, you get to fire a salvo, reload your next salvo in 15 seconds, and surprise people. That's the whole idea here. Or, if you're not loaded in time for a broadside cruiser, you can actually just reload very quickly and then get a small benefit on your next reload. This isn't like some of the other reload boosters where you get multiple salvos per reload boost. It's just to get that next one in half the time. But that's still a big deal. It means a ship like Champagne with some very low alpha damage can gain a lot of consistency out of this reload booster. People who go broadside, you're just not going to miss those opportunities. It's one of the benefits, like we talked about with Republic, just having a fast base reload gives you that opportunity to always have a shot ready for anyone going broadside. This reload booster gives a ship with a longer reload a similar ability. Unfortunately, no Citadels there on the North Carolina, but we're going to have an absolutely awesome start to this game. 6-gun battleship, maybe not my favorite ship in the world to have a 6-gun battleship with, but that's okay. This ship does have battle cruiser dispersion. So outside of Tennessee, you do have the best dispersion out of all the tier 8 battleships. 2.0 Sigma, that's the tendency for those shells to go towards the center of that dispersion ellipse, also very good. Something else that's really important to note about Champagne, and especially its armor-piercing shells, you get 406s, very rare to see on a French battleship, and more importantly, their pen. Their pen is absolutely monstrous. At 15 kilometers, you have 622 millimeters of pen. So battleship goes broadside to you, it doesn't matter. 4 Citadels. 4 shells, 4 Citadels, just like that. Absolutely crazy. We used our booster because, well, I wasn't expecting that, to be totally honest with you. So we'll take it, and then we'll maybe blind fire to get ourselves our first kill. And there you go. Just like that, NC deleted from the game. And the real special thing here about this pen is if we include all these higher tier ships, even super battleships, only Slava has more pen than Champagne at 15 kilometers. Everything else, Shikishima, Satsuma, Repub, Patrie, all these ships with Monstrous pen as well, it's all less than what Champagne has. It means you might overpen cruisers a little more often, but if you hit the right spot, those Citadels, we do get some very nice damage. Hopefully we're going to get away, and in fact we do, because this ship has really good concealment as well. It's a bit of a battle cruiser type though. There are some weak points to the Champagne. Your base HP isn't amazing, although that has been buffed in the past, and this new flag is helping us out there. The other real important thing is your armor is incredibly bad. 32 millimeters deck armor, upper belt armor, but the extremities, your bow and stern are 25, I believe, or it's 27. It's not 32, so you can get overmatched, and HE is going to full pen you everywhere. This ship will get taken down rather quickly. It needs to play that flanking role through its concealment, surprising people. And this speed boost here should allow us to get away relatively easily as well. It's still just an 8% engine boost. It's not that 15% like we see on Bourgogne and Patrie at higher tiers, for example. But still, very nice. This is a bit of a weird ship. It's not exactly a Republic at tier 8. It's not exactly a Bourgogne. It's at tier 8. It's a little bit of an in-between middle ground, and is quite fun to play now, thanks to this reload booster. And yeah, I don't know what else to say. This is a bit of a PayPal moment, isn't it? A paid actor. Thank you, Mr. Des Moines. I appreciate it. Letting me live here. Yeah. This ship will devastate cruisers if they go broadside. Very nice to see. A really awesome game here. 8 Citadels in this game. Absolutely wild. We managed to survive there. A little bit of border scrubbing. I know. I really shouldn't be doing that. The border mechanics are certainly cheese, but we'll take advantage of it here in this case, and we do manage to survive. The shell velocity also. Notice 20 kilometers here. 10-second lead time. That is amazing. So we get ourselves another Citadel. 9 Citadels in this game. Absolutely wild for a battleship. We love to see it. The shell velocity is amazing, by the way. Just really, really consistent here, giving us just a very easy time to hit our targets at these longer ranges. It's a little bit worse than Roma, technically. Certainly the AHE, actually, on the Roma. But other than that, it is the highest shell velocity at this tier. You can think of it a little bit like a Slava at tier 8. Kind of odd in that regard, but it's a solid-ish comparison. It does have more speed, at least to flank around the map, but you don't have as many guns. Only 6 guns can be a little bit troll at times. You're a premium ship, so our credit income there was pretty nice, I gotta say. And into this game, we gotta see maybe some of the inconsistency, I guess. We gotta mention as well with 14.0, there's a potential bug in the game that the Dispersion upgrade module is applying twice in-game. So this might be more accurate than it should be. Still have no confirmation on that, whether or not it's just purely visual or not. I don't know. I still wonder about making a video on it, but it's just so hard to get accurate information through visual testing. All I can really do is try and test ships side by side, but then the sample size is just too low to really get any sort of concrete data. So for wargaming side, I guess we just have to wait and see. That's really why I've been waiting. As you can see, you can be a little bit disappointed by this ship. Surrey there, I think, was a little bit surprised by our reload there. And that's going to be the key. You're going to expect a battleship to have quite a long reload after firing at you. He turned in, slowed down, turned in, avoided our first salvo, and then decided to turn away while we were reloading. Very common tactic for cruisers to make. But with this reload booster, we can actually catch them in that turn. And I think that's what happened there. Maybe I'm reading too much into that play, but that is something that I will look to do as a cruiser player. But you got to be very careful against these reload booster battleships. And it's hard to tell if they've used it or not. It's not like combat instructions where the spotlights or searchlights on the ship light up when they're using it. This consumable, you can't really tell when it's being used until you've actually seen them with that incredibly fast reload. Surely this time, right? Surrey turning in to use his front guns as he's kiting away. Do we get to the finishing salvo, 4,000 damage? No, we do not. There's some inconsistencies still with 6-gun battleships, all right? It's not just all perfectly insane, over 100k in 5 minutes with a champagne there. It's a little bit odd, but you actually prefer fighting higher tier just because of your pen and the range as well. Look at us firing at 30 kilometers with the spotter plane. This isn't me running like range mod or anything like that. This is just the ship with its spotter plane. It has incredible base range as well. So you're more incentivized to play at those longer ranges, I guess. But I do think pushing up is really important to also catch people's broadsides out. It's a lot harder to hit people at those longer ranges. We do manage to finish off. The enemy carrier feels good, and it's a lot easier to lead these shells thanks to that shell velocity. Cherbourg here, broadside on at these longer ranges. Hopefully we get a few less overpens. That's maybe a benefit of shooting at longer ranges as well. Maybe you lose some of that shell velocity and pen at those ranges, so you're more likely to, hopefully, land some full pens. He turns out just enough, and our shells land short. We'll try and save our Fiji in this case. We don't want to push enemy spawns, right? That's the whole idea here of me coming back from the sea cap instead of pushing through to the enemy spawn. Although in this case, it probably wouldn't have mattered, maybe. They're up on points, though, as well as ships. And again, 4 overpens. Just like Slava, you're going to see a lot of overpens. It's really nice to have the shell velocity just for hitting targets, but when you do hit, yes, the dreaded overpen gameplay, unfortunately. Champagne is also a ship. Again, we don't want to brawl with it. I tried it a couple times. It didn't work so well. Finally, once the Cherbourg goes down, we're going to actually just push these guys and see if we can't get a little bit of extra damage out of this ship. I was running a very aggressive build in this one I would not recommend. Furious, heavy AP. I was even running secondary range and close quarters combat to even further buff our reload. It's not worth going for secondaries with this ship at all. They don't actually have any sort of improved accuracy on them. So you're not going to get much value out of it, let alone the armor as well is really, really bad. This ship also doesn't have high caliber secondaries, so they're only 100 millimeters for the most part. There's a few of those higher caliber turrets, but most of your secondaries are those 100 millimeter guns, which only have 17 millimeters of pen. So you'd have to take IFHE to even run them. Don't run secondaries, guys. I was running a bit of a meme build here, mostly to get the main gun reload down. And something important here as well is when you're not getting Citadels in a campaign, the damage output isn't that amazing. It really feels like it's a tier A battleship still, so I'm not expecting tier 10 super ship levels of damage. But, you know, 12,000 damage is fine into a broadside warspite, but it's certainly a little disappointing when he's so broadside. And given that we're pushing in, we need some better salvos than this, especially when we catch these people broadside. This Umahari is pushing on our flank, so we're not going to stay angled for very long here. So I really need to get this warspite off of my flank by finishing him off. 13,000, okay. That was 4 full pens this time. So we're hitting a lot of our shells. It's just the damage output from 6 guns is limited unless you're getting those full Citadel salvos. Ismail goes for his full salvo. Very vulnerable ship, that one, to broadside. So our teammates are actually going to finish him off for us. Our 32 mil armor is kind of holding if they're not shooting our bow or stern. That would be the advice, of course. If you meet one of these at closer ranges, definitely shoot the bow or the stern. Teammates finish off the warspite, but not before he managed to get that parting salvo, and we do go down. We get 100k, so not a bad game, but a really good example of Champagne dies so quickly at close range and doesn't have the brawling ability with the secondaries, certainly not, or the main guns. They don't have the shell volume to really get those impactful salvos at close range without getting Citadels. Alaska goes broadside, and of course, we use our reload booster. I was hoping for more there, but hey, we got our booster. We can make up for bad salvos, allowing us to get another shot in before he's able to angle to us. And this time, I mean, Alaska's hard to Citadel, let's be honest, so not the best damage there, unfortunately. Shells go a little bit high. Maybe I needed to aim a little bit lower. That is a bit disappointing, I guess, but when it comes to fighting some of these ships with waterline Citadels, that's going to happen. We're not committed, though. We haven't fully pushed in like we need a full devastating strike salvo to stay alive when we're in a brawling situation. So we get another follow-up salvo. It's not too bad. The big thing here is a Soyuz is pushing in. And Russian battleships, as well as the new Pan-American battleships, are well known for having incredibly tanky armor. Their Citadel is above water, but given the angle and armor values, at these longer ranges, you're often just going to shatter. You're not actually going to get through to the Citadel. But what happens if you take some of the best pen in the entire game at 16 kilometers there? The mod is actually telling us we have 600 millimeters of pen still. So can we get through a Soyuz? Yes, we can. Double Citadel. That's the thing. This ship is less of a cruiser killer, maybe more of a broadside battleship killer. You gotta rely on some RNG, I guess, to get the Citadels on cruisers. There's just gonna be a lot of overpens. Broadside Soyuz yet again, just barely enough vision, and a little bit wonky dispersion out of our front gun, but our rear gun looked really nice. And we do manage to land one more Citadel. Torque protection hit, though, means we're on the edge of having enough pen to hit him at these ranges, and certainly at the angle. He was actually angling away from us there, so very fortunate to grab that Citadel. Now that he's angled, though, we probably don't want to shoot the angled battleship. We still want to go for those broadsides. So Alaska just broadside enough, although he probably gets his turn away in time. So we're going to have to rely on 406 overmatch. And we do 10,000 damage. More damage than our broadside salvos were doing to that Alaska. Always fun, that, right? More damage when they're angled than when they're broadside. Well, fun is not the right word. It's annoying for me. I would much rather we do more damage to the broadside ship than to the angled one, as always. I've said that a lot, but I'm going to keep saying it. It's one of my main annoyances in this game, we'll say. Soyuz is broadside yet again, just barely missing his Citadel there, unfortunately. Aiming not quite enough lead, I suppose. But still, 11,000 damage, not too bad. We get another follow-up salvo very quickly. That's the benefit, of course, and nice dispersion. Even angled a little bit, you know, not fully angled, but he was turning away. It wasn't a flat broadside. We're still able to punch through and grab that Citadel. Very, very nice to see. Now, Soyuz on the border, I used border mechanics, I know, so we're not going to criticize them for that, but you can learn to lead people on the border. If they're just starting on the border, they're going to maintain their full speed. So you got to aim like they're going full speed horizontally to you. So able to get that lead down, and not the best salvo, but still hit relatively center mass. The longer they're on the border, the slower they become though. So you do have to tone down your aim and start aiming closer and closer to the enemy ship. Alaska broadside yet again. What do we get? Oh, we get the Citadel this time. Finally. Feels like I'm gambling a little bit on some of these salvos at times. That's the Battleship experience, man. It's quite something. Enemy Buffalo spotted, 19.5 kilometers, less than 10 seconds of lead time. Now, would you use your reload booster here? Well, we're going to use it probably just out of shame of having HE loaded. Yes, why did I have HE loaded, man? There's probably a destroyer. I was fighting a sub the game before this would be my guess, and I just forgot to swap back. And in our shame of using HE on the broadside Buffalo, he also goes undetected, so just a pure waste of a booster. So instead of being reasonable and holding my salvo for a potential other broadside, I'm just gonna go all in on the blind shot too and get nothing. Bit of a misplay, but hey, it happens. Now, our reload booster is back. That is something I didn't mention. The booster has a 60-second cooldown. Very, very fast cooldown. Really nice to see. Much easier to use than... Oh, I forget what the tier 7 French battleship premium is that has a reload booster. It's like a Dunkirk with a reload booster. It's got like a 300-second cooldown on its reload booster. Just unusable, basically. Here, nice to have that 60 seconds. I probably should have used it here. Now I'm in my head too much about the reload booster. Should I use it? Shouldn't I use it? I wasted one. Oh man, that's the pain of using a reload booster ship, I suppose. When do you use it? You want to get through all of them, otherwise you're just leaving damage on the table, of course, at the end of the game. But you don't want to waste them either. And I'll be a little bit greedy in holding them most of the time. And Buffalo here is forced out of smoke or makes a mistake. I don't know. But we should get another salvo in on him here. And this time, I mean, he is so broadside, right? Decent dispersion, 11,000 damage is all we have to do. And we get it, the Citadel hit. But do you use your reload booster now? This is a broadside North Carolina at 8 kilometers. And I think I played it right here. I don't use the reload booster because of the torps coming in. So I don't think I would have got a really amazing salvo anyway. May as well save it for a better option. Now that better option is shooting at a cruiser player who knows what they're doing. And this guy's going to do a great job of dodging me. So not a lot else happened this game, to be honest with you, but the analysis paralysis around this reload booster can get me sometimes. And I suppose that's a fun, interesting thing to think about. It's nice to have a reload booster, I gotta say, on Champagne. Really interesting buff to this ship and makes this ship much more fun to play, in my opinion. And now we gotta end this video on a bit of a sour note. Unfortunately, I went and looked, how do you get this ship? I thought it was just in the armory, or maybe it was just a premium ship in the premium shop. No, of course not. Of course not. Why would we be buffing Champagne just randomly out of the blue? Well, it's not available anymore outside of the loot boxes, man. This is the only way to get it right now. And of course, it's a bit of a FOMO event because it's not available anywhere else, so who knows when it'll be back. Oh, I hate saying that. I hate even saying that, man, because even in saying that and making this video, I had fun with Champagne. I did. I admittedly did have a lot of fun with Champagne. But in doing that, I'm just advertising loot box gambling to you guys. That sucks. So there you go. You got the info. I dislike this. I really dislike this. But hey, let's take a look at the commander build and everything else. And it's still a good ship. It really is. And for those of you that have it, I think this is a really fun buff. This is a really interesting buff. But, you know, it's a bit of a limited ship in a lot of ways too because of the 6 guns nature and needing to find broadsides, I think, is the other portion of this ship. Decent enough reload, really good range, it's fast, it's got pretty solid concealment. This is the build that I was running on it towards the end. You're not tanking, so fire prevention, I want the reload, I want the damage. Again, greedy stuff here. Your turret traverse actually isn't too bad, 30 seconds, so you don't necessarily need to take grease the gears. Brisk is awesome on a ship like this. Speed boost as well as brisk means you can get around the map rather quickly, repositioning yourself to find those broadsides and get that really impactful damage in. This ship does come with that reload booster now. Very, very nice to have. Decent cooldown as well. You can get through these very, very quickly. So if anything, I'd recommend saving them a little bit more, just because they come back up so quickly. 8% engine boost is awesome. Spotter aircraft, I mean, 25 kilometers, you might not need it, but hey, for those carrier snipes, kind of nice to have around, right? And a bit of a standard heal here, as well as the cooldown. But you're probably not going to be doing too much tanking, thanks to this armor layout. Yes, 25 bow and 32 here. Reasonable superstructure size as well. And this ship does have a slightly above water citadel, not the most well protected, so people can punch through this. This isn't angled enough to act like proper turtleback, like German turtleback. It's too steep, is what I'm saying, I suppose. And then to get through to there, it's just above waterline. So this ship is quite maneuverable, so it will be a little bit tricky to hit it at times, but at closer ranges, yeah, those broadsides won't be too bad to hit. And keep in mind, you can punch through this bow armor very easily with most battleships and get through possibly to this bow citadel as well. So some weak points for sure. This isn't some all-powerful tier 8, but it is fun. I like the reload booster a lot. Just very disappointed that a ship like this is only available through loot boxes right now for a limited time. I hate those kind of mechanics, the FOMO mechanics, trying to prey on psychology and get people to spin the wheel to try and get the ship they want, and inevitably don't get it for a very long time, and they gotta roll again and again and again, and that sucks. So feedback to Wargaming, stop doing this, please. It's so lame. I hate having to say it again and again in these videos. Just let me be positive about your game and not have these asterisks added at the end of these videos. I'd much rather do that. But that's going to do it for the Champagne here. Reload booster on it. Very interesting ship. Very fun, interesting consumable to have. If you're someone who doesn't want to gamble your way towards this ship and you want a similar playstyle, there's a Bourgogne. A pretty rare ship for steel. Feels bad, man. It's so difficult, dude. All these ships locked behind such extreme measures, man. A steel, very late game resource, of course. And loot boxes, I also don't like. But at least steel you can grind your way towards. It's a very late game player choice as well. So, I don't know. Very tricky to make these videos, I gotta say. I'm very, very conflicted because I had fun with this ship. I really did. I had a lot of fun playing this ship. But I just dislike these gambling loot box mechanics, these FOMO mechanics. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. Thank you very much for watching and have a great rest of your day.